A very pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Mamaroneck High School. Today it's high school lacrosse from Memorial Field as Mamaroneck takes on Suffern in the Section 1 Class A semifinals. Alongside Charlie McGraw, my name is Seth Rothman. Charlie, Mamaroneck, the #1 seed in Class A. Suffern, the #4 seed. The Mounties 13-5 this season. Mamaroneck 13-4. The Tigers came out on top 6 weeks ago, 12-6 in this matchup. What do they have to do to make it back to the Section 1 final this year?
Well, Mamaroneck has to duplicate that performance, Seth, and both teams have improved since that performance 6 weeks ago. And Mamaroneck will have to get going early, as we saw them do against New Rochelle, and they dominated them in the first round. And if they can do that to Suffern, put them in too big a hole to come back from, it should be all Tigers in this one.
Well, that's what the Tigers are going to hope for. They cruised in the quarterfinals. Suffern has already had to play 2 sectional playoff games, including a 12-11 quarterfinal win over the 5-seed Fox Lane a few days ago, so this should be a pretty competitive matchup. The Section 1 Class A semifinals, winner goes on to the Section 1 title game, and it's coming up next on LMC Varsity Sports. Just about set to go here at Mamaroneck High School. The goalies have shaken hands. It's senior Sam Giroux between the pipes for Mamaroneck. Gunnar Marks, the junior, in goal for Suffern. Taking the draw for the Mounties, Radu Stanchescu. He is the Fogo. He will take the draw and get off.
And he's 75% winning percentage, third best in Section 1 for the Suffern. So we'll see how he'll do against Shane Smith today.
Possession's so important. Smith, as Charlie said, on the draw for Mamaroneck. Let's play ball. Section 1 semifinals. They set the players up in the circle. Got to make sure it's fair. It is. We're underway, and Mamaroneck wins it. Chasing it down was Shane Smith. And Mamaroneck will take the game's first possession. This is Bobby Bizzard, who handed it off to Felix, JB Connor. Connor will flip it near side to Will Martin, back behind the net to Tom Conley. Ajed Zimet had it. Back up top, this is Connor.
Connor had 2 goals against New Rochelle.
Tigers won that game 15-3. Connor trying to activate. Hands it off to Chambers. Now near side it comes. The rip was wide by Will Martin. Backing up was Mamaroneck. They'll retain possession. 46 seconds gone by first quarter here at Mamaroneck High School. Conley gets it up top. The big rip is stopped by Gunnar Marks. It was Tim Summer on the shot.
Great save there on the low shot.
Will Martin getting hassled by the defender. That's Zach Mabry. Martin able to recollect, gets it behind the net. Zimet for Mamaroneck. Zimet, a couple of juke moves, passes out in front, they score! Mamaroneck first on the board, 10:34 left to go. As Ajed Zimet puts the Tigers in front.
Zimet's a guy who barely played last year as a junior, and now last game against New Rochelle, he had 4 goals, and now he gets the first goal here in the semifinal. So he's really progressed in a year. He's gone from a second, third stringer to a starter.
Well, the senior attackman puts Mamaroneck on the board, and now Stanchescu will look to win the face-off for Suffern to give the Mounties their first possession. But again, it's won forward by Smith. And Mamaroneck quickly trying to get into the attacking zone, but unable to handle the low pass was Will Martin. Ball's on the ground, but the ground ball is picked up by Mamaroneck. That's Tom Conley on the near side. Conley crosses midfield. Conley quickly into the attacking zone. Conley takes it himself. Unable to put it on goal, and Mamaroneck will retain. I believe they called an offsides there, so Suffern will gain their first possession of today's game. 10-10 left to go first quarter. Tigers up 1-0 here on LMC Varsity Sports. That's Patrick Canty, who sprints down the near side. Canty hands it off. Good defense there by Mamaroneck. That's Felix Miller, who forces the turnover, and Mamaroneck clears it the length of the field. Unable to grab it was Conley. Ball goes out of bounds.
Uncharacteristic turnover from the Tigers there. Usually don't do that on a play like that, but it goes right back to Suffern. Let's see how the defense does.
Aaron Johnson gets it back to his goalie, who flips it over to Tyler Steinberg.
Only
Now
2.5 minutes gone by. Sorry, Seth. A lot of action so far.
Canty flips it over to Aaron Johnson. Gets it over to Lucas Summers. On the far side, bobbling it was Mahecha.
Great steal by Harrigan, but then he throws it away.
And Suffern able to regain possession. Steinberg getting hassled, rather Bonist getting hassled by Daniel Jewell. Suffern looking to get some offense going, but good defense here. Now he cuts away. And that shot was deflected by the goaltender.
Sam Giroux with a good save.
Mamaroneck trying to clear, and they're able to do so. 8 minutes, 25 seconds left to go first quarter. Ball on the ground in the Mounties defensive end, and it's picked up by Marks.
A lot of turnovers, both sides.
This is going to be a nervy game, especially at the beginning, and we have whistles here.
It's been about 3
I believe
turnovers.
a timeout was called on the field. I think it was taken by Mamaroneck. So with 8:06 left to go first quarter, we'll step aside. Tigers out in front 1-0 on LMC Varsity Sports. Coming out of the timeout, Mamaroneck will have possession. Ajit Zemet, the goal scorer for the Tigers. First goal and only goal so far of the game. Section 1 Class A semifinals, Mamaroneck and Suffern. Tigers looking for their second sectional title in the last 3 years. They'll have to get past this game to have a chance. Winner will face either Mayapack or Lakeland Panis. Mayapack the 3 seed, Lakeland Panis the 7 seed. Knocked off the 2 seed in the quarterfinals. And Mamaroneck trying to make sure there'll be no update here at Memorial Field. With it now for the Tigers is Freed, rather Connor, and he shoots one, and a save was made by the goaltender Gunnar Marks. Backing up, it was a close race. Tom Conley was in on it, and he won possession back for Mamaroneck. The junior attackman Tom Conley resets behind the net. Conley tries moving out in front. His pass was not completed. Ball's going to go to midfield. Those players can't go off sides. And it looked like a Suffern player did stick a body part in the Mamaroneck attacking zone, so the Tigers will retain possession. That ground ball picked up by Suffern. It's Aiden Gold, who's quickly into the attacking zone. Good pass work. Unable to get a shot off. Good active sticks by Mamaroneck defense here in the early going. We're 5 minutes in. This is Joy Zeus. Gets it over to Foresta. Back behind the net, Mahecha played it. behind the net now for Suffern.
Great defense so far by Mamaroneck here.
CJ Olsen tries finding a lane, cannot. Tiger defense allowed 3 goals in the quarterfinals, trying to hold Suffern out in this possession. This is Olsen. Olsen spins back again and hands it off to Jesus. Now Olsen. Mahecha behind the net. Past the halfway mark first quarter. Tigers still holding on to that 1-0 lead. Zemet with the goal for the Tigers. Ball on the ground now, but it's picked back up by Suffern. Knocked away again by number 20, Felix Miller. Suffern able to regain it. Miller has been hassling in this first quarter. Falling down was Bonist. Stick flies. Mamaroneck gets the possession. And now picking it up is J.B. Connor. 7 minutes gone by first quarter. Connor swoops behind the net, passes it out in front. The shot, they scored! Court Chambers. Mamaroneck leads 2-0 with 4:58 left to go first quarter.
Excellent pass by J.B. Connor to find Court Chambers, who just ripped it on a low angle and got it easily past the goalie from Suffern, Gunnar Marks. And the Tigers are up 2-0. A great pass, though, by Connor was what got the job done there.
Well, Charlie, Mamaroneck off to a terrific start offensively and defensively.
The defense has been unbelievable. On that last possession for like 2 minutes, Suffern couldn't get it past the 20-yard line, and their angles were so bad they didn't even attempt the shot because they were kept denied by the single and double team of the defense.
Unable to find the cutters so far. They'll try to change that if they can gain possession. Stancescu on the draw for Suffern, but it's won by Smith. The junior Shane Smith. I believe that's 3 for 3 for him so far today.
Yes, it is. And he's taken the number 3 face-off guy in Section 1 to school, as he's 3 for 3, and the number 3 guy, Stancescu, is 0 for 3.
This is Will Martin. Martin, the bounce pass really had no hope of working out. It's on the ground and picked up by Suffern. Good work there by Mikey Ryan. The goaltender Marks is being hassled and now whistles, and Suffern is going to call for time. First quarter, Tigers up 2-0 at LMC Varsity Sports. Suffern will have possession out of the timeout, trailing 2-0 here in the first quarter. Section 1 Class A semifinals on a beautiful 80-degree day here in Mamaroneck. It has been a cold and dreary spring, but the nice weather has come out for the second half of the playoffs as Marks flips it to Mabry. And Mabry able to get past midfield. The long pole Mabry handed it off. Now Patrick Canty. It'll come back behind the net to Mahecha. 4 minutes left to go first quarter. They'll flip it around. Lucas Summers. Now Canty. Canty getting pushed to the outside. Gets it back behind the net. Mahecha. Pass out in front was deflected and turned over, but not so fast. Push called against Mamaroneck.
See the advantage of having the 3 referees. That one referee was right in front of him. He was able to make that call. As it's a semifinal, Seth, so there's now 3 officials. As where in the quarters there was just the 2.
Johnson has it now. Gets it around. Summers over to the far side. Mahecha will try swooping out in front. I think 2 players went for the pass, but it's picked up on the ground by Summers. This is Foresta. Now Bonist. Under 3 to go, low-scoring first quarter in Mamaroneck. Bonist tries getting out in front. Again, this Mamaroneck defense, outstanding so far. Ball on the ground, it's scooped up by Mamaroneck. Tigers moving in transition, unsettled situation, they scored! Will Martin makes it 3.
Great pass by the defender, Declan Harrigan, right on cue. Seth says how good the defense has been. He steals it, picks it up, runs 20 yards, and throws a 20-yard pass to Will Martin, who scores it easily, and the Tigers are up 3-0. What a start.
And a nice move by Martin as well on the goaltender Marks. Martin had time. He used that time to pick a spot.
So we've had 2 very good assists in the last 2 goals by Harrigan and JB Connor, and the Tigers showing why they're the 1 seed as they lead 3-0. And this was the start we talked about, and if they could push it 1 more or 2 more goals, it could be lights out.
It's still pretty early in this face-off. It's important. And Stanchescu wins the draw for Suffern.
First win for him on the draw.
Stanchescu taking it himself, and now he hands it off, and the Fogo face off, get off, and he's off for Suffern. Just over 2 minutes left to go. First quarter, Tigers on a 3-0 advantage early on. For Suffern, this is Steve Trombetta, who got it over to Foresta. Now back behind the net. Trombetta gets it back. Trombetta puts a move on. Back to Mahecha. Round it comes to Bonist. Bonist being defended by Jewell. Mahecha gets bodied away from a shooting position. Under 90 seconds to go first quarter. Suffern looking for their first goal. Spin move by Trombetta. Absolutely no space to breathe. Suffern looking for a momentum changer with just over a minute left to go in the quarter. Out in front, the shot is saved by Giroux. Ball off somebody's helmet's now on the ground. It's picked up by Suffern. Good work there by Surovic. Surovic out in front, they scored! That's Trombetta on the goal for the Mounties with 45 seconds left to go first quarter.
They did not give up on the play. They lost it for a second after a great save by Giroux. Actually, they never technically lost him, but it was on the ground for a minute or 2 when it hit off of Giroux, and then they picked it up, and then Surovic threw a nice pass to Trombetta, and good thing you got that number switch on the last time out. And it's 45 seconds to go. It's a huge difference trailing the first quarter going in 3-0 or 3-1, although there could be another goal in this 45 seconds.
And again, this is why face-offs in lacrosse are so important. Because if Reduced and Chescu can win this draw, Suffern's got another possession here to end the quarter. They'll take it against Smith. They battle for it on the logo. Ball on the ground. And it's picked up by Suffern. Nicely done there by Zach Mabry. Mabry quickly into the offensive zone, taking it himself. Gets bodied off the ball, but it's picked up by Bonist. 20 seconds left to go first quarter. Suffern down 3-1. Swim move there with 12 seconds. This is Canty with 7 seconds. Canty, pass was incomplete with 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Can they get a long-range shot off? They do, and they score! Kyle Foresta beats the buzzer. And we got a ball game here at Mamaroneck High School. So Foresta got it off in time, and it beat Giroux, and it's Mamaroneck 3, Suffern 2. We've played a quarter. Back after this. Second quarter about to get underway here at Memorial Field. Mamaroneck leading at 3-0. Goals by Zemet, Chambers, and Martin. Suffern getting tallies from Trombetta and Foresta. Foresta beating the buzzer to end the first quarter.
And the first Suffern goal was with 45 seconds left, so they got 2 goals in the final 45 seconds. And that last one, as we were discussing on the break, Seth, it crossed it after the buzzer, but because Foresta released it with a second left, it counted, unlike soccer and hockey, where it has to cross.
Kind of similar to the rule in basketball. As long as you release it in time, illegal procedure to call there, Suffern will get it. As long as you release it in time, it'll count. So Suffern now a chance, just like that, to tie the game. Mamaroneck getting the first 3 goals, Suffern getting the next 2.
Or football, too, if you release the ball as a quarterback and catch it and then go in.
This is Aaron Johnson. And at the shade it goes. Believe that's Foresta over there. Foresta swings out in front. Suffern trying to set something up. It's a game of momentum, especially when you're in the playoffs. Winner take all. You win, you go on. You lose, your season's over. And if you're a senior, your career might be over as well. Those are tough games to play as Giroux makes the save, and the ground ball is picked up by Mamaroneck.
But for that save, the momentum had been on Suffern's side with the last couple of goals, but great save by Giroux, and a good pass there by Sam Giroux as well.
Giroux got it over to Vicinelli. Vicinelli gets it out in front. The shot was saved by Marks, and Suffern closest to it. Just over a minute gone by second quarter. Tigers clinging to a 3-2 lead here in the semifinals.
And Zemet couldn't score a second on that last shot, as it was good save there by the Suffern goalie, Marks, but they turn it over and Mamaroneck will get it as they went out of bounds.
The blue-red line is the out-of-bounds line in Lacrosse. Ooh, good pass out in front. It comes. Deking is Tom Conley who scores. Tom Conley somehow found himself wide open with no defenders around him, and the junior gets his first goal of the game. Mamaroneck gets its 4th, and the Tigers lead at 4-2.
I think Tim Summer passed it to him, but it doesn't come. We've seen a couple easy goals. Him and Martin scored on the last 2 as they just had them and Gunnar Marks, and they were able to beat him easily. And it's 4-2 as the Tigers answered back, and you knew that there was a good chance they would do that. They wouldn't let Suffern score 3 in a row to tie it.
So Mamaroneck gets the first 3, Suffern the next 2. Now the Tigers answer as they set up the face-off at the middle of the M right up midfield. Stanchescu will win it forward for Suffern. Stanchescu is running right out in front, loses the handle. Ball's on the ground, flying in to grab it is Mamaroneck. That was Daniel Jewell. His pass not completed to Declan Harrigan. And now players hit the deck. A push is the call. That's going to go against Suffern. 2 minutes gone by second quarter. Mamaroneck will take it from midfield on the restart. This is Chambers. Chambers will swing behind the net. Chambers tries working off a screen. Gets it out in front. The bounce shot was saved. It was the shot taken by Mamaroneck, and Gunnar Marks equal to the task. Nick Heller. And now Suffern trying to set up the offense. This is Canty. Round it comes to Johnson. Now Lucas Summers gets it back from Johnson. Summers tries moving out in front. Lost the handle for just a moment, gets it back. Aaron Johnson jukes and swings around. They go behind the net, defended there by Tim Summer. Out in front, the shot was wide. It was taken by Lucas Summers.
An official timeout.
Somebody lost their stick. As Mamaroneck makes some substitutions. Suffern will retain it. 8:36 left to go, second quarter. This is Canty. Gets it over to Foresta. Foresta will take the shot and score! Kyle Foresta, his second of the game with 8:18 left to go, second quarter. And Mamaroneck's lead has been whittled back to 1.
That's Foresta, 1 T.
2 in a row for him.
1 T, Foresta.
Two goals in a row as he scored the goal that ended the first quarter and the second one, and Foresta makes it 4-3 now. And the Fogo from Suffern, Radu Stanchescu, has won, I think, 3 in a row, face-offs in a row, and let's see if he can win a 4th.
And he does. Although now ball's on the ground and it's picked up by Mamaroneck. That was Declan Harrigan in on the play, and his pass not completed. I believe it was deflected by Suffern, so I think Mamaroneck's going to retain it.
And the other official wants help from the other official. It looked like it was deflected off Suffern, but that's not what Suffern pleaded. With 8:02 left in this second quarter.
The original call was that it's Mamaroneck ball. Looks like it'll stay that way.
Not enough video evidence to overturn it.
You don't do video replay in high school. I'm sure it's coming at some point.
Yeah, right.
That would create a whole bunch of other problems. So Mamaroneck will retain it. 4 minutes gone by second quarter. Tigers lead by 1 with the ball. This is Conley behind the net. Conley tries moving out in front with it. Conley gets it over to Chambers, who scores! Will Accord Chambers, his second of the game. Mamaroneck's lead is back up to 2.
And an assist for his team leading assists. Conley had 6 assists against New Rochelle. Now he has a goal and an assist as he passed it short pass to Chambers. The Tigers go up by 2 again. The biggest lead had been the 3-0. Now it's 5-3 here for the Tigers with 7:43 left in the first half. So the battles have been good from the Fogos, Shane Smith, and the third leader in Section 1 and 75%, Radu Stanchescu, and we'll see if they have another good battle here. The last one was good, as it lasted about 10 seconds.
Players try to swarm to help out. Ball's on the ground. They battle for it there. I think that call's going to go against Mamaroneck. Suffering possession. This is Canty. Hands it off to Summers. Now Johnson. Johnson back behind the net. 7 minutes left to go first half. Tigers up 5-3. Johnson evaluating his options. Now swings out in front. Passes it off. This is Foresta. No penalties yet in this game. Neither team has been a man up yet.
So that means one's coming soon, right? No, it's been very clean though. Nothing close either.
Suffern goes back behind the net now. And it comes to Foresta. Mamaroneck really locking down the slot. That pass goes awry. Battling for it for Suffern was Canty, and is able to retain possession for the Mounties. And his shot was high, but backing up, only guy back there was Mahecha. Midway through second quarter, Mahecha trying to get out in front with it. Very active sticks. That shot was saved by Giroux.
Wow, great save.
Diving stick save by Sam Giroux. Johnson around it comes to Canty. Now Foresta will swing it behind the net. This is Bonist. Bonist, his shot was deflected by someone. Not sure if that was Giroux or Felix Miller. Suffern will retain it. 5:22 left in the second quarter. This is Johnson. It comes to Summers. Summers slipped. Gets back on his feet, retains it. Hands it off to Johnson. Mahecha's shot was wide. It's backed up. Trying to swing around the crease. Now Johnson gets it back. Ball on the ground. They battle for it. Trying to pick it up was Daniel Jewell for Mamaroneck, but Suffern able to retain it. Nearly getting tripped. In fact, he was tripped. Was number 23 Foresta, and Mamaroneck comes away with it. A little surprised not to see a trip there. Unsettled situation here for Mamaroneck, and in front it comes. The low shot. They scored! Will Martin gets his second goal of the game. Mamaroneck back to a 3-goal lead.
And another assist for Tom Conley. He's got 2 assists and a goal as he gave a short pass to Martin, who shot it very low on the ground, and it was deflected by the goalie Marks, but it got in for goal number 6, and another 3-goal lead as they were up 3-0. Now it's 6-3 Tigers. 3 goals in each quarter so far for Mamaroneck.
4:19 left to go in the second. Martin and Chambers each have a pair for Mamaroneck. Foresta has 2 for Suffern.
And if you're Mamaroneck, if you could get a 4 or 5 goal lead at the half, that would be huge, Seth.
Number 1 seed in Section 1 Class A hosting the semifinal game. Winner will face either Mayapack or Lakeland Panis in the final.
Both teams Mamaroneck beat. Mamaroneck only beat Lakeland Panis by 1 in overtime, and they beat Mayapack handily. Both we had on LMC TV earlier this year.
We've had some good games here on LMC in the lacrosse season.
Timeout, Mamaroneck. So we'll be right back on LMC Varsity Sports.
Right back here on LMC Varsity Sports. Tigers with a 6-3 lead in the Section 1 Class A semifinal. Mamaroneck 13-4 this season. They beat number 8 New Rochelle 15-3 in the quarters. They've already allowed 3 goals to Suffern through 16 minutes today. Conley gets it over to Martin. Will Martin, the junior attack. Will swing it behind the net, caught there, out in front. The pass was not completed, but Tim Summer able to come away with it. He passes out in front, they scored! Port Chambers has 3, and Mamaroneck has 7.
Another good pass from Tim Summer.
Now, Mamaroneck had a little celebration there. I'm not sure if that was the problem or if we just had a timeout on the field. I think it was a timeout, so I wasn't sure if they were going to call him sportsmanlike conduct on that. Either way, it's a 7-3 game, 3:41 left to go second quarter. We're back in a moment. Well, you've noticed a lot of breaks in the action today. We have mandatory water breaks today. It is in the low 80s today. Beautiful day. Not much humidity, but it is very warm, so mandated water breaks are in effect.
Which is a good rule.
Absolutely. You got to make sure these kids are safe out there. This is a sport that's played outdoors, but at the same time, it can get pretty hot out there on the turf. So good idea that Section 1 instituted. I think a lot of high schools, all the sections in New York State instituted a few years ago. So that's why you're seeing a lot more breaks than normal. It's also the warmest it's been all season long. This has been, as anyone who's been outdoors knows, a very cool spring in Westchester County. Stanchescu and Smith on the draw. It's won by Mamaroneck. Picking it up was Declan Harrison. The long pole moves it quickly up the field. Out in front again. They scored again! It's Tom Conley. He's got a pair. And Mamaroneck leads 8-3. And Mamaroneck in the unsettled situations has been outstanding so far today.
Another great pass and assist from Declan Harrigan, and the Tigers have Tom Conley with 2 goals and 2 assists, and Court Chambers has 3 goals, and Will Martin has 2 goals. So a lot of people contributing with multiple points. And the Tigers lead 8-3, and this was with 3:27 to go. They could either build on it or Suffern can try and crawl back before halftime. Either way, it's a big 3 minutes and 27 seconds.
It's a big part of the game. Suffern needs some possessions.
And it all comes down to the face-off, what we talked about.
Most important play in lacrosse.
The Fogo can be the man or the not.
And Smith picks this one up. They battle for it. The ball tips behind the net. Can they keep it in? Mamaroneck does. Excellent work by Zemet to scoop it up before it went out of bounds. 3:10 left to go first half. Tigers an 8-3 advantage as Tom Conley has it behind the net. Conley just sends a ground ball pass over to shortstop. It's picked up there by Chambers, and now Summer has it. Summer, the spin move. Summer gears up for a shot off somebody's foot, and it deflects out of bounds. Mamaroneck backing up. Will Martin was there. J.B. Connor. Mamaroneck slowing it down a little bit now. 2.5 to go in the first half. They lead it by 5. Mamaroneck scoring 5 of the last 6 goals in this quarter. And that pass was intercepted by Suffern. And now Suffern has an unsettled situation. Quickly moving it up the field. Out in front was the save was made by Giroux. And the shot by Foresta. Ooh. They battle for it on the far side, and Mamaroneck comes away with it. Ball bouncing on the turf, but scooping it up there for Mamaroneck was Daniel Jewell. Jewell will rip one, and it's saved by Gunnar Marks, and he will clear it for Suffern. Under 2 to go in the first half. This is Nick Heller. Heller will swing behind the goal. His pass was too high for Lucas Summers, and the ball will go out of bounds, and it's been that kind of first half for Suffern so far. So Mamaroneck will restart it. Court Chambers. Now Zemet. Back to Chambers. Flag flies behind the play.
First one of the game.
So a delayed whistle.
Too many men.
This is Conley. Conley being double teamed. Kind of runs his way out of it. Under a minute left in the half. Conley avoids a check and flips it over to Summer. And now the whistles for the penalty.
Suffern player lost his stick in the... Wait, did that stick break? It did break in half. Wow, as the officials bringing it over to the Suffern sidelines. That stick broke in half. You don't see that much. See?
So Mamaroneck will be on the extra man opportunity with 46 seconds left to go in the second quarter. Not sure what the penalty was, did not see the indication.
There was too many men on defense. They had 7 for...
Right,
so they allowed 6.
So offsides would have been the call there. Mamaroneck a man up, trying to capitalize. Tigers play catch up top, trying to set one up. About 15 seconds left and the man up. This is Martin. Martin gets it back. Hands it off to Conley. They work around the perimeter. That's it for the man up. So Mamaroneck did not even get a shot off on it. 10 seconds left to go in the second quarter. Conley trying to instigate the offense. Conley gets it behind the net. Martin, he gets it off. It's wide, and that's the end of the second quarter. Mamaroneck scoring 5 of the 6 goals in the second quarter. They take an 8-3 lead. We're at halftime on LMC Varsity Sports from Memorial Field. Tigers leading in the Section 1 semifinals, 8-3. Second half action about to get underway at Mamaroneck High School. Tigers with an 8-3 lead as we come out of the break. Stancescu will take the draw against Smith. And the violation goes against Smith. So Mamaroneck will lose that opening draw of the second half. We're underway third quarter. Suffern needs to rally. They're down by 5. It's the Mamaroneck defense allowing 2 goals in the first quarter, 1 goal in the second quarter. They scored 5 of 6 in the period. Aaron Johnson getting hassled, but he's able to get it off to Bonist. His pass was too tall for Lucas Summers. The ball is on the ground near midfield, but it's picked back up, by the Mounties. That was Kyle Forrester who ran down the ground ball. Forrester being hassled by Vicinelli. Boy, this Mamaroneck defense so tough early on, but there Suffern scores! Spinning away was Brian Bonist, and the sophomore opens the second half scoring and cuts the Mamaroneck lead to 8-4. Oh, we're just thinking this Mamaroneck defense is not allowing anybody from Suffern through. And Bonist out of nowhere spun away and sent it past Giroux.
So the start you needed, if you were Suffern, you were down 5, you couldn't make it 6, and they win the face-off and get a goal to make it 4. So that's what they're down with 10:52 to go in this third quarter. And you scored it quickly as 1:08 into the quarter.
Stancescu against Smith, and Smith wins it for Mamaroneck. Smith retains possession through the check, and that shot by Conley bounced in on Marks, who saved it, and the ball goes out of bounds. Mamaroneck was backing up. Conley hands it off to Martin. Martin throws it over to Tim Summer. Summer avoids a hit, moves in, save was made by Marks. And Suffern was closest to it. They will have possession. Minute 45 gone by third quarter. Suffern trailing 8-4. That was Patrick Canty, who quickly moves into the attacking third for the Mounties.
that was 2 good saves in a row by Gunnar Marks for Suffern to keep it at 8-4.
Could turn out to be big plays in this game. Canty back behind the net, hands it off. This is Johnson.
As the 2 teams switch sides, there's a big difference in the sun shining there as where on this side of the field it's not, you're in the shade. So there's a big difference for the goalie's vision.
Yeah, the Mamaroneck goal is bathed in sunlight. The Suffern goal is in the shade. Now that entire attacking third is in the shade, so it probably won't affect the goalie over there too much. Probably did at the beginning of the game. And Suffern draws a penalty. It's a slash against, I believe that was Daniel Jewell who got called for it. So Suffern has the extra man opportunity. It's first of the day and a chance to make it a 3-goal game. This is Mahecha. Around it comes. Suffern gonna try and get a shot with the extra man. Behind the net, now out in front, it's stolen by Mamaroneck, and the ball's on the ground and it's scooped up there. Bobby Bizzard with the huge play for Mamaroneck, and now that pass goes out of bounds. Excellent work by the senior Bizzard to force the turnover down a man. And Suffern will throw it long towards midfield. Grabbing it there is Johnson. Johnson over to Mahecha. Now Summers. Mahecha. That pass is sent back over to Johnson, a bit unconventionally, but it counts all the same. And the shot was saved by Giroux. It was Felix Miller who got it across midfield. Now Summer has it for the Tigers. Man up opportunity for Suffern over now. They unable to capitalize on it. Tigers with an 8-4 lead, 7:40 left to go third quarter. This is Summer who got it over to Martin. Now Court Chambers, the senior with 3 first half goals, has the ball now for the Tigers. He will juke behind the net, move out in front with it, shot it over the crossbar. Suffern closest to it. So Suffern restarts. This is the goalie, Gunnar Marks, who throws it ahead towards midfield. It's coming out in front. Good juke. Move the bounce shot. They scored! Joy Zeus, his first of the game, brings Suffern to within 3 with 7:02 left to go third quarter.
And this game has been all about runs. Mamaroneck started with 3 goals in a row. Suffern scored 2 in a row now.
First 2 goals of the second half, both from the Mounties. They trail 8-5. Suffern's gotten 2 goals from Foresta, Bonist, Trombetta, and Joy Zeus, each scoring as well. Mamaroneck getting 3 from Chambers, a pair from Conley and Martin, and Zimet, who had the opening goal of the game. Those are your scores for Mamaroneck. So we reset things in the face-off dot. Stanchescu against Smith. Ball's on the ground, it's loose. Mamaroneck is able to grab it. Good work by Declan Harrigan. Harrigan nearly got pushed out of bounds. They said he did not. And the ball is picked back up by Mamaroneck. Will Martin, Johnny on the spot.
Great play by Harrigan. He was falling into the fence and he threw it up. Unbelievable athletic play as he's got a little shaken up.
Still in the game. On the far side, Mamaroneck trying to instigate the offense. This is Zemet. Swung it behind. Out in front, good pass, and a good save! Another opportunity as another save! Martin had the second chance. Believe Conley had the first one. Neither found Twine, but Mamaroneck will retain possession. And that shot, another save by the junior goalie, Gunnar Marks. And now Suffern is able to clear. They cross midfield with it, moving it out in front. Good pass! They scored! 3 in a row from Suffern. This one from Foresta makes it a 2-goal game with 5:38 left to go in the third quarter, and Mamaroneck would like to talk things over. Suffern scoring the first 3 goals of the second half. They had 3 goals in the first half. They've scored 3 goals in 6 minutes and 22 seconds to bring it to within 2. And the fans on the Suffern side of the field are making some noise now as this draw is on the ground. Smith unable to scoop it up. Suffern unable to scoop it up, and now Mamaroneck has it, and they threw it away, but Smith able to scoop it over to his teammate Vicinelli. Senior Max Vicinelli tries swinging it out in front. He'll instead pass it back behind the net. And Mamaroneck sets up the offense. Midway stages, third quarter of a 2-goal game in the Section 1 Class A semifinals. Mamaroneck and Suffern. Spinning with it is Tim Summer. He hands it off now to Chambers. Gets it over to J.B. Connor, who's been held scoreless so far today. Now Summer directing his teammate. Summer rips one off the mark. Mamaroneck was backing up. It was Will Martin back there.
Something Mamaroneck does very well is they retain possession if you're backing it up, and they always seem to be doing that. You got to in boys lacrosse.
This is Conley, got it out in front. The shot was not on the mark. That opportunity, they scored! It's Tom Conley, his third of the game, and Mamaroneck breaks the streak. Bit of an unsettled situation there. Conley was the man on the mark to get the goal for the Tigers.
Crazy sequence. Conley's initial shot hit the post, then Chambers' shot hit the post, then Conley got it back. It looked like he had a wide open goal, but he couldn't physically shoot it. So when he was falling, he was then able to shoot it, and it went past a diving goalie, Gunnar Marks, who basically dove past it. But that was like as crazy play you'll see.
Outstanding effort from Conley to make it a 9-6 game, 4:28 left in the third quarter. This game really is setting up for what should be a pretty exciting fourth quarter. These two teams are swinging haymakers at each other.
And nobody's delivered a knockout quite yet. Conley now has 3 goals and 2 assists too. 5 points.
Stancescu and Smith battling in the M, and Stancescu trying to go grab it. Battling is Bizzard, battling is Smith. Nobody knows where the ball is. Finally figuring it out was Harrigan, and he chases it down. Declan Harrigan throws the long pass. It's completed to Shane Smith. Ball is loose on the ground. Conley over to scoop it up. Under 4 to go third quarter, and Mamaroneck can try to settle into their offense. This is J.B. Connor. Connor walking with it around the zone, gets it back behind the net now. Out in front, good pass, and a good save was made by Marks. That was an outstanding save by Marks, but the pass was not completed. It's on the ground, and it's picked up by Mamaroneck's Connor. Connor got it ahead. Tigers unsettled situation. Throws the high pass, it's brought down, they scored! Will Gordon gets his third. Mamaroneck's in double digits, they lead by 4.
Great pass, JB Connor. And now the Tigers fans have the momentum as they're back into it.
So Mamaroneck with the first, rather Suffern with the first 3 goals of the quarter. Mamaroneck has answered with a pair of its own. Mamaroneck a 10-6 lead, 3 minutes, 10 seconds left to go, third quarter.
Already 5 goals in the quarter. Combined. 3 from Suffern, 2 from Mamaroneck. All in a row.
They'll set up for the face-off. Stancescu against Smith. They scrum forward, and Stancescu comes away with it. He's getting checked. His pass was low, and it is still loose. It's picked up by Suffern.
Seen some really crazy sequences right after the face-off.
Bonus being hassled by Miller. Bonus tries to get body position, shoots it wide. Backing up for Suffern was Mahecha.
Felix Miller's played very well on defense today.
Mamaroneck has not been giving a lot of time and space. Foresta tries moving it out in front. His shot was deflected. I think it was deflected by a Suffern stick. And they will retain it. Bonist hands it off to Trombetter. Back to Bonist. Now Canty. Just over 2 minutes left to go, third quarter. Canty tries spinning on Smith. And Mamaroneck nearly got the turnover. Now out in front, they scored! Mahecha, his first goal of the game, brings Suffern back within 3. It looked for just a moment like Felix Miller was going to grab the turnover. He could not collect it. The goalie was out of his crease, and Mahecha was able to deposit it into the empty net.
He flipped it forward. He wasn't able to, as you said, and flipped it forward right to Mahecha, and he scored the empty netter, and it's 10-7. A huge play there as Miller couldn't clear it.
Minute 46 left to go, third quarter. Stancescu and Smith have been battling all afternoon at the dot. They'll do so again here. And this time the ground ball nearly scooped up by Suffern. Now it is scooped up by Jesus. Jesus quickly into the attacking zone, gets it out in front. The shot might have been off the post. It was taken by Mikey Ryan.
I think Giroux got a slight piece and then it hit the post. Neither way, it's going back to Mamaroneck as it went off of Suffern.
Martin quickly into the attacking zone. Minute 19 left to go, third quarter. Martin gets it over to Conley. Now Connor. Connor not being given space, flips it to Chambers. Now Conley thought about a rip, instead he gets it across, but Will Martin unable to come away with it. Ball goes out of bounds, Suffern possession. Under a minute left to go, third quarter. Whistles going. Now they'll allow them to restart. And that's a turnover against Nick Heller. He went into the crease, and you're not allowed to do that. So a turnover allows Will Martin possession.
Huge turnover.
Out in front, the shot is in for Tim Summer. His first goal of the game, and Mamaroneck leads at 11-7.
Another assist for Conley. He's got 3 goals, 3 assists now.
So the senior Tim Summer getting his first of the game. Martin, Conley, and Chambers have combined for 3 goals each, 9 in total. Zimet, the other goal scorer for Mamaroneck. About half a minute left to go, third quarter. Tigers up 11-7. The lead was 5 at the break. It was trimmed to as little as 2. Now Mamaroneck has built it back up again. And this is an important draw for Suffern here as we come near the close of quarter number 3. Stanchescu and Smith battle for it. Who can grasp it? It's on the ground. It's moved forward by Suffern. It's Mamaroneck possession.
With 22 seconds left in this third quarter.
Mamaroneck will try to beat the buzzer here in the third. Miller got it ahead to Summer. Quickly moving it out in front. The shot is in. High to high. Bang for Zimet. His second of the game. Mamaroneck leads 12-7.
Third assist for JB Connor. And barring a really, really quick goal off a face-off, almost impossible the way they battled on the face-off here. With 7 seconds to go, it'll be 12-7 going into the fourth. And Suffern will have their hands full in that fourth quarter.
It's been a good battle here in the third. Mamaroneck allowed the first 3 goals of the quarter, but they've built it back up now to a 5-goal lead with 7 seconds left to go in the third.
4 goals each in this quarter, 8 total. Big scoring quarter.
Suffern advancing to the semifinals with a 16-3 win over Clarkstown South, a 12-11 win over Fox Lane. They're in a dogfight now against Mamaroneck, who cannot get the shot off in time, and Tom Conley took a big hit as he released that shot. He's up and okay. We have played 3 quarters at Mamaroneck High School. Tigers lead it 12-7 as they look to advance to the Section 1 title game. The number 1 seed is holding serve here at home. We're back right after this. Fourth quarter action about to get underway here at Mamaroneck High School. Tigers holding a 12-7 lead as we begin the final 12 minutes of action. We talked earlier about how important face-offs are, and this is why, because Suffern needs some possessions, and they need them quickly. And they've got one of the best face-off men in Section 1, Radu Stanchescu, to try and get them possession here against Shane Smith and Mamaroneck. Smith has been a worthy adversary.
Smith's won more today than...
And he wins this one as well. Well, it looked like he did. Whistle blew. And Suffern will have possession. So Stanchescu wins that one after the whistle. But this is what Suffern needs. They need the ball because can't score without it. Second time these teams have faced off this season. Mamaroneck defeated Suffern on April 12th by a 12-6 final. This one will not have that scoreline. Suffern looking for their 8th goal of the game. And that ball knocked away by the Mamaroneck defense. Excellent work by Felix Miller. This is Summer. Across midfield for the Tigers, just over a minute into the 4th.
The two teams switch sides again for the quarter, at the end of the quarter.
Chambers. Chambers moves off the double screen. Gets it over to Connor. They flip it around now. Summer shot is in! Tim Summer makes it 13 for Mamaroneck, his 2nd of the game. And Mamaroneck's got their biggest lead of the afternoon. It's 13-7.
Huge lead. Suffern will have to catch fire in order to come back, but as they only have 10-14 remaining, which is a while, but it's not an eternity. They do stop the clock on each whistle, but they'll have to really catch on fire, as this has been a game of runs so far, and they'll have to go on a big one if they want to come back.
Well, and there's time to do it, but they're going to have to get it started soon. Stanchescu and Smith get set in the dot. And Mamaroneck able to come away with that one. This is Harrigan. Harrigan moves it over. That shot never got through. It was taken by Martin. Ball's on the ground. It's picked up by Shane Smith. Under 10 minutes left to go, 4th quarter. Tigers up 13-7 as Zemet stick handles near side. Swings it behind the net now to Chambers. He throws it long. That shot is in! It's 3 in a row for Summer. It's 14-7 Mamaroneck.
And they take a touchdown lead. 4th assist for J.B. Connor, and Summer's got 3 goals and 2 assists. So 4 guys with 3 goals. Conley, Martin, Chambers, and Summer. And everybody but Martin has at least 1 assist in that group.
Midway through the 3rd quarter, Charlie, it was an 8-6 game. Mamaroneck has scored 6 of the last 7 goals, and they may just be clinching their spot in the Section 1 title game.
That's what's been so impressive about Mamaroneck, when they were only up 8-6 only, but still, they were able to, from there, they didn't panic and they didn't worry, and now they're up 14-7 only about, 10, 12 minutes later in game time.
You don't get to be the #1 seed in the section without being a confident group, and you can tell this team, when things have gotten a little bit tough in this game, they have bared down each time and had an answer.
There, the sun got in Conley's eyes, and he couldn't see the ball, and it went out of bounds, and it'll be Suffern to Suffern.
Long pass ahead is grabbed by Mikey Ryan. Ryan shielding from Smith. This is Johnson. His pass behind the net is chased down by Bonist. Johnson. Up top it comes to Jesus. He jukes. He passes back behind the net. Maybe a 7-goal lead, and now it's a 6-goal lead. That's Brian Bonist with his 2nd goal of the game, with 8:39 left to go. It's a 14-8 game.
He was triple teamed when he shot that.
That was a very impressive goal by Bonist. The sophomore attack now has 2. Foresta with 3. Trumpeter, Mehecha, and Joy Zeus, each with 1 for Suffern. Summer, Martin, Conley, and Chambers each have 3 for the Tigers. Asia Zemet with 2 to wrap up the scoring for the number 1 seeded Mamaroneck Tigers, 13-4 on the season. Their second game of the Section 1 tournament. They beat New Rochelle in the quarters 15-3. This is Declan Harrigan. Harrigan, good juke move to move out in front. His pass is... The shot off it was just high. The shot was taken by Will Martin. This is Zemet spinning. He handed it off to Conley. Rather, this is Colin Lavin. Now JB Connor. Connor moves out in front, bounces one wide of the cage. 7:59 left to go in regulation. Now Zemet trying to move out in front. Good pass through the seam. That shot was bounced wide. Good vision there by Zemet to find Martin.
As long as Mamaroneck keeps doing this, they'll have the ball, and Suffern can cut into the deficit.
Best defense is offense.
Exactly.
Falling down was Conley. Ball's on the ground. They're battling for it there. Whistles. I think Mamaroneck will retain it. 7.5 left. This is Conley. Conley jukes. Swings back behind. Throws it back up top. JB Connor. Connor activating, shooting, and scoring! JB Connor, his first goal of the game for Mamaroneck. It is 15-8 with 7:12 remaining.
Had 4 assists, now he has a goal and 4 assists. And the Tigers keep adding to their lead as Suffern looks pretty tired out there. So on that play, they really had them on their toes. Mamaroneck kept working the ball around and shooting and backing up and stuff, and that defense was out there for a couple minutes or so, and they had to be tired after that sequence, especially since they gave up a goal.
It is a 7-2 Mamaroneck spurt spanning the 3rd and 4th quarters. They have opened up their biggest lead of the day. It's 15-8. What's tied for their biggest lead of the day, I should say. It was also 14-7. Stanchescu and Smith. Another good scrum in the middle. Ball's on the ground. A couple of guys chasing after it. Smith sent Stanchescu to the turf. And Suffern will have possession. Mounties need some goals, and they need them in a hurry. Swinging around with it was Bonist. Bonist out in front, the pass, they scored! It's Billy Mehecha, his second of the game. It's 15-9 with 6:35 remaining.
Good pass from Bonist to Mehecha, and he had an open goal and beat Giroux. And he's got 2 goals and an assist now, does Bonist. And so does Mehecha. 2 goals and an assist. Suffern won't quit. Stay 6 minutes, 35 seconds. There, stranger things have happened.
It'll be Tim Summer on the face-off against Stanchescu now. Summer with 3 goals. He's getting a chance in the dot.
Had been Shane Smith.
They battle for it. And Mamaroneck is going to pick it up. So good job by Summer to scoop it up. And his pass pretty much went to no one, but Mamaroneck somehow able to come away with it. Tom Conley, once again, Johnny on the spot for the Tigers. Midway through the fourth quarter, Mamaroneck up by 6. That shot was high. Tigers will retain it, backing up with Zimet. Zimet swings it over to Connor. Connor's shot was wide. Again, Mamaroneck closest to it. Martin, Conley, Chambers, Summer, each with 3 goals for Mamaroneck to lead the Tigers here in the semifinals. This is Martin. Now Connor. Gets it back behind to Conley. Out in front. That shot was saved by Marks. Whistles blow. It's going to be a penalty against Suffern. So Mamaroneck will have the extra man opportunity. So Tigers a man up with 5:25 left to go in regulation. Connor gets it over to Chambers. Behind to Conley. Now Chambers again. Connor finds himself open. Up top it comes. That shot whistled wide on the shot taken by Conley. 5:06 left to go. Tigers up 15-9 here in the Section 1 Class A semifinals. Winner will face the winner of Mayapack and Lakeland Panis in the Section 1 title game. Martin was gearing up for a shot. Instead he gets it over to Tom Conley. Conley fakes a pass. Now he does hand it off to Zimet. He gets it over to Chambers. Connor back to Chambers. Out in front, Conley's opportunity, kind of a backhanded opportunity. Flag flies. It's going to be against Suffern. Another flag now. Behind the play, there's 2 flags down. This is Connor. That shot was saved by Marks on the shot taken by Chambers, and we'll sort out the penalties with 4:06 left to go in the fourth quarter. This might be a 2-man advantage here for Mamaroneck. Well, 5 guys out there for Suffern, so I think it'll only be...
I think it was just to emphasize that there was a penalty coming.
Not sure why that second flag flew, to be honest, if they have 5 guys out there.
Fortunately, he's on the other side of the field, can't hear what it is. The main thing was Mamaroneck took off about 1.5 minutes there.
Yeah, now they thought they were taking a guy off. I think they are taking a guy off for Suffern, so it is going to be a 2-man advantage here for Mamaroneck.
If you're Mamaroneck, you try to make it a 7, or do you just take time off and play keep away?
I don't think either decision is wrong. I don't, you know, when you've got a 2-man advantage, I think you'd like to put a goal on the board. But obviously having the ball is pretty important too. Time coming off the clock is almost like another goal being scored. It's a 15-9 Mamaroneck advantage. And they have a 2-man advantage. As they restart things. Looking to tack onto their lead here at Memorial Field in the Section 1 semifinals. Fourth quarter, under 4 minutes to go. Connor over to Martin. Martin gets it back from Summer, who has it now. Summer thought about a shot. Instead, he peels it away, gets it over to Martin. Over to Connor. Connor's drive, save made by Marks. Mamaroneck came away with it somehow. That was Tom Conley who kind of spun away with it.
Just gave a little bit of a rebound, and Conley was able to.
One man back for Suffern, now a single extra man opportunity. This is Chambers who flipped it over to Zemet. Now behind the net it comes, 3:20 left to play. Tigers up by 6, they come right out in front with it, and Marks made the save, but a flag flies against Suffern. Think that's going to be too high of a contact on that. I think that's an illegal body check.
Suffern with the 3 flags in the last 2 minutes now.
Yeah, you can't hit guys above the shoulder, and I think that's what the referee saw.
That was a late flag, too, right after.
Well, there's only, looks like another 2-man advantage here for Mamaroneck. With 3:16 left to go. And again, the best defense is having possession. Out in front it comes, Chambers scores! Court Chambers, his 4th goal of the game. Mamaroneck leads 16-9. And the frustration is showing on the guys in blue.
As Mamaroneck has pulled away here in this 4th quarter. And they have 4 goals again, as they had 4 in the 3rd. They have 5 in the 2nd and 3 in the 1st.
They've scored 8 of the last 11 goals in this game. It was an 8-6 game midway through the 3rd. It's now 16-9. And when you're the number 1 seed and you're playing at home, this is the performance you want to have. But this second half has been all Mamaroneck, at least since about midway through the 3rd quarter. So 3:05 left to go. Smith back on the draw. It's on the ground and again picked up by Mamaroneck. They'll blow it dead. It's a hold on Mamaroneck, so Suffern will have possession with 2:59 left to go in the 4th quarter, I should say. Brian Bonist has it now for the Mounties. Bonist spins away from the check. Gets it out in front. Suffern needs a goal quickly here. This is Summers. Summers passes it over to Johnson. Johnson moved it to Foresta. His shot was well high. I think his stick was deflected by a Mamaroneck defender as he was winding it up. Suffern was backing up. They'll retain it.
And as you said, Seth, they need to go quickly. There's 2:30 left now, as they've taken 30 seconds on this possession, and that one shot was way high.
Bonist's pass was high. They'll battle for it near midfield. Overrunning it was Mike Halper.
Over and back as it went out of bounds, so it's a turnover on Suffern.
And Mamaroneck is going to call for time. 2 minutes, 16 seconds left to go in the 4th quarter. Mamaroneck looks to be on its way to the Section 1 title game. Stay with us on LMC Varsity Sports. All right, we come out of the timeout here at Memorial Field. Tigers leading at 16-9. 2 minutes, 16 seconds left to go in the game. Mamaroneck really has been one of the premier lacrosse programs in Section 1 over the last decade or so. Won a few section titles over that span. Their last one was 2 years ago, and they are 2 minutes and 16 seconds from punching yet another ticket to the Section 1 title game against a very worthy opponent in Suffern. They punched back quite a few times today, but Mamaroneck has had the answer each time. Pretty well played game by both teams as Chambers swings it for Mamaroneck, and at this point, if you're the Tigers, your goal is to have the ball these final 2 minutes.
That's probably why Coach Barnard took the time out, just tell them to possess and also to tell them to keep their head in case Suffern tries some couple hard hits, that they don't do anything stupid, because if you get ejected from this game, you can't play in the final.
Minute 35 left to go. The goal is open, is trying to get an extra defender out there. This is Summer.
Guarding Connor. Suffern realizes what Mamaroneck's doing as there's 1:20 left as they're playing keep away.
Summer gets it knocked out of his stick by Aiden Gold. Players hit the deck and a flag flies, and I think that's going to go against Mamaroneck. And there might have been some extracurriculars in there as well.
There was.
So I think there was a flag, and I believe it was on.
Actually didn't throw one, but
I thought I saw a flag, maybe not. Either way, minute 14 left to go.
Suffern, yeah, there was. Summer is out on.
That's what I thought. I saw a flag against Mamaroneck there, and there was one indeed. So Suffern will be a man up with a minute 14 left to go. Mamaroneck up 16-9 here in their final home game of the season. Section 1 title game is at a neutral site, as are, if they were to advance past it, the state tournament, all at neutral sites as well. So their last chance to play in front of their home fans, and they have put on a show. Martin, Conley, Chambers, Summer each with 3, Zemet with 2, Connor with 1. It all adds up to 16, and a pretty good defensive effort as well by Mamaroneck has them just over a minute from the Section 1 final. As Suffern trying to hit double digits here. That shot was deflected. I think it was deflected off a defender. It's picked back up by Bonist. Out in front it comes. They score. It's Joy Zeus with 51 seconds left. Suffern is in double digits. It's a 16-10 game. So 51 seconds left to go. Suffern makes it a 6-goal game. Pretty consistent offense by Mamaroneck. 3 in the first, 5 in the second, 4 in the third, and 4 in the fourth. Really was a pretty consistent effort. It was a close game in the first quarter. Tigers got the first 3 goals. Suffern answered with 2 to close out the quarter. And they went, Mamaroneck scored 5 of the 6 goals in the second quarter. It was a 5-goal game at the break, but Suffern answered. They made it a 2-goal game pretty quickly. Scored the first 3 goals of the third quarter to make it 8-6, and since then it's been all Mamaroneck. Half a minute left to go here at Memorial Field. And that shot will go high with 23 seconds left. Suffern backing up. Lucas Summers, the senior, has it for Suffern. His pass is brought down by the junior Forrester. Forrester tries moving out in front with 10 seconds. That shot was saved by Giroux on the shot by Aaron Johnson. The ball heads to midfield, 3 seconds and 2, and Mamaroneck is heading to the Section 1 final. The Mamaroneck Tigers win it by a 16-10 final. A terrific performance here at Memorial Field, and Mamaroneck has advanced to the Section 1 title game against either Mayapack or Lakeland Panis. As the Tigers dominate from the midway point of the third quarter onwards. It was an 8-6 game. Tigers from there outscoring Suffern 8-4 on their way to a win. We have lots more still to come here from Memorial Field. We'll talk to a couple players as well as Coach Jeff Barnard. It's Mamaroneck 16, Suffern 10, the Tigers on their way to the Section 1 final. We're back with more coming up on LMC TV.
Back here on the postgame show with Tom Conley. And Tom, it was a good win for you guys. You had 3 goals and 3 assists. What was the key to today's win?
Key to today's win was just playing our game. We've been doing it all season. We've been looking forward to getting to Section Final, and we finally did it.
And you guys, when it was 8-6 in the third, the closest they came in the game. You guys then pulled away. What was the key there? What did you guys say to each other? You didn't really even take a timeout, but you just pulled away after that.
Yeah, we just knew that this is our last game on this field no matter what, and the seniors were motivating everyone on the team to just really give it their all, because this is the last time for the seniors and everyone just wants to play hard for them, and we really just wanted to get together and do it.
And you guys will play either Lakeland, Panis, or Mayapack in the final. What's the key to a win in the section final?
Again, just play our game. We've been doing this all year. We beat both of them already this year, so if we play like we have been, we should be good.
Back in the post-game show, Tigers win at 16-10. They're moving on to the Section 1 final. Shane Smith joins us now. Shane, you're up against Stanchescu today. Known as one of the better face-off guys in Section 1. Why are you able to be so successful against him?
Well, I've been training for the last couple of weeks, preparing for him. I knew he was at the top of the leaderboards on face-offs, and I knew it was going to be a hard one. I just tried my hardest this time, and I didn't do too good against him during the regular season, and I guess I did better this time.
So you guys put up 16 goals today, put up a lot of goals in your quarterfinal game as well. What's working so well for the offense right now?
Well, they're executing. During the regular season, we didn't do as better as we are doing right now. Right now we're moving the ball as quick as ever, and we're getting shots on goal, which is the best thing possible.
Mayapack or Lakeland Panis up next in the Section 1 final. What do you have to do to beat either of those teams?
Be relentless. That's it.
All right, Coach Jeff Barnard joins us now. Tigers win 16-10. They're on to the Section 1 championship game. Coach, face-offs are a big talking point before the game. Shane, I thought, really dominated in that category. How was he able to do?
Well, we've been lucky enough. We've had some. One of our parents was able to get some training for him, and that's been very helpful. The beginning of the season, we've always struggled at the face-off X, and so what we did was we took one of our very, very top athletes and just tried to teach him how to face off, and Shane's he's a machine, and he's taken to it, and he's working really hard, and his athleticism and quick hands help him.
31 goals in 2 playoff games now. What's working for you guys on the offensive side?
I think we're doing pretty well in transition, and we need to struggle. We're struggling a little bit in settled offense. We have some kind of high risk, high reward, and sometimes the reward is turning around and going the other way. We've been all season long. We've been trusting our defense. We had a couple breakdowns on both ends of the field, defensively and offensively. But I think we kind of won the game between the lines and in transition and getting at it at the face-off X. And I think we hustled hard and the kids worked hard. So that's the number one thing for me, is the kids working really hard.
Whether it's Mayapack or Lakeland Panis, you're going up against a familiar opponent in the championship game. What do you have to do to?
Well, even though we played both teams over the course of the season, and we played Lakeland recently, and it took an overtime to beat them. It's always a different game in the playoffs. The playoffs, and I say it to the kids, it's just never the same. Both teams are playing real well right now and gotten a lot better, and we're used to kind of in the past, and as you've been around, being more of the hunter, and now we're more of the hunted, based on just what happened during the regular season. So that's kind of new ground for us, and we're trying to work with that.
All right, back here on the post-game show, Tigers win at 16-10. They're moving on to the Section 1 title game. Charlie McGraw, Seth Rothman back with you. And Charlie, this is a Mamaroneck team really firing on all cylinders right now. 4 guys with at least 3 goals today, and 16 goals for the game is a pretty good total.
Yeah, great game for the Tigers, spreading it. Will Martin, Court Chambers led the way with 4 goals. Tom Conley had 3 goals, and also Tim Summer had 3 goals as well. So they dominated in that fashion, and that was 13 of the 16 goals. But the Tigers, the difference was when it was 8-6 in the third quarter when they pulled away, and then they were up 11-6 after 3, and then from there they cruised. And they dominated on the face-off with Shane Smith, and Sam Giroux played well in goal, and the defense played very well, and they were able to win a pretty high-scoring game, but not the highest scoring of 16-10 in boys lacrosse, and advance to the final.
Yeah, they advanced to the Section 1 final thanks to a terrific second-half performance here at Memorial Field. So that'll pretty much do it from here as Mamaroneck advancing to the Section 1 title game. We'll try not to get hit by anybody playing on the field, and we'll sign off for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on LMC Varsity Sports. Take care, everybody.